When you're planning your data project, try to construct questions that will allow you to leverage the data you currently have. It would be optimal to solve the biggest problem your firm faces, and that should be the initial goal. But if you don't have the data to answer that question, you'll have difficulty trying to do so. Consider other factors that could make your question unsolvable. The source of the data or the capability of your team. Once you've determined what data is at your disposal, ask actionable and detailed questions. They must be detailed in order to provide you and your data team a narrowed scope of focus and actionable so you can accomplish specific results after running the analyses. It's helpful when your questions relate to data that your business uses. Your questions must be aligned with strategic goals, which vary depending on your target audience. Is this analysis for internal use, a C-suite meeting, a client? Figure out your audience and adjust your question accordingly. Let's imagine a scenario between two managers, one who asks vague questions which will be difficult to answer, and one who asks direct and actionable questions.
How can we cut costs across the retail company?
Can we reduce cotton materials costs by 20% and linen materials costs by 10% from supplier A?
Andreas' question is too broad to design a study. On the other hand, Katie's question is detailed and specific. To answer her question, we'll need cost data for supply chain and suppliers, and our historical relationship with suppliers. Let's take a look at the next set of questions.
How can we increase our market share in the US?
Which geographic market that we operate in has the most potential for us to increase our market share?
Although both Andreas and Katie are focused on market share, Katie's question is framed more specifically so we can identify the data needed. For example, we'll need both competitor market shares and our market share for every location where we have a store. Let's look at another example.
Should we expand internationally?
Could we capture 1% of the retail market in Toronto if we open a store there?
Andreas is predictably asking broad questions while Katie is focusing the analysis on a specific goal and city. To answer her question, we'll need competitor data in Toronto, our success in comparable markets, and customer surveys in Toronto asking about brand awareness. We have one last question. Let's see if Andreas has learned anything from Katie.
Do we have enough employees?
Given the projects we have scheduled for next quarter, do we have enough skilled personnel to fulfill our commitments?
Clearly, Andreas hasn't quite got the hang of asking focused data questions. His question's still too vague and not actionable enough for a data analysis. Katie's question is well structured, so it's clear we'll need to know the size of the projects, anticipated deadlines, required skill sets, number of available employees, and current capacity. In summary, it might seem like a relatively obvious point, but don't underestimate the importance of framing questions carefully and thoughtfully before embarking on a data analysis. This discipline will help guide your analysis and ensure you derive meaningful information from your data.